guys, good evening. I just wanted to talk to you about what your child has been learning in math this week. Actually, we've been working on division this is our second week and we have one more week to go. So I wanted to share with you our Common Core or our math standards from the state of Florida on division and what the ways that I teach your child based on our standards. So we have worked on 3 strategies. The first one we worked on was equal groups. So this one they kind of learned in 3rd grade with much smaller numbers. In 4th grade, our standard says that we teach 4-digit division divided by a 1-digit number, okay? So this is a big stretch from what they came from knowing in 3rd grade. So in this case, I chose one division equation to show you 3 different ways. The first one is 4,276 divided by 4, and we used base 10 blocks to divide those up into 4 groups. So we would start dividing 4,000, and clearly 1,000 would go in each group. Then we would move to 200. The students realized that 200s would not fit easily into the 4 groups, so that's when they broke apart that 200 and combined it with the 7 tens. So then they had 27 tens, which they then divided as much as they could among the 4 groups. That leaves 6 tens in each group. 6 times 4 is 24. So 3 tens were left over that they then broke apart into ones. So 3 tens became 30 ones, plus the 6 ones that was previously here. So 36 ones, literally we used cubes to do this. They then divided into the 4 groups, leaving 9 ones in each group. So then when they counted the blocks or the base 10s in each group, that left 6 tens would be 60, and then 9 ones was 9. This is a lot. I apologize if these strategies aren't something you learned in school. I'm with you. This is our Florida standards, and this is how we are instructed to teach our children. I promise you they understand it, and they really enjoy it. So I'm going to show you our second strategy, which is called area model division. It's a lot like the area model multiplication that we did, but they're starting within the rectangles and then dividing out, okay? So with division, the students have learned that if they can multiply, it's going to help with division immensely. So with the same equation, dividing by 4, we have taught them to do a chart of friendly numbers and multiply each of them by 4, okay? If we struggle with multiplying by 4, we should know 5 times 4 because they can count by 5s. They should be able to do 10 times 4 because they count by 10s, and so on. So we try to start them out with simple multiplication that will help them then divide. So within the area model, they would start inside a rectangle, putting 4,276 as their dividend, and then dividing by 4. They would use their chart to get as close to their dividend as possible, noticing that 1,000 times 4 is 4,000. So they put that, we call them partial quotients, on top. 1,000 times 4 is 4,000. What's left is 276. So then they continue to divide the number that they got left with here. So they move it to a new box, 276. We look at our chart. As close as I can get is 50 times 4 being 200. So they put 50 on top, times 4. Here's the 200. 76 are left. Okay, so they continue this process until they either get to 0 or until there's a remainder, a number that is smaller than their divisor. Okay, so in this case, same equation as here. They should have gotten 1,000 plus 50 plus 10 plus 9 is 1,069, no remainder. Okay. The students struggled a little bit with this strategy, but they, for the most part, are very successful. The third strategy that I taught them is called partial quotients. It's basically the same exact procedure and process as area model, but it's written more like a long division that you and I have seen before. They do not officially learn long division until 6th grade. So I know at home we want to teach that to them because that's what we know. But this is the foundation of a long division equation. So when they learn this and our understanding of this and master it, long division will come much easier than them just learning the process or learning a trick. So same thing, we're starting with that same dividend and divisor. We did our friendly numbers and they love this. They see how helpful this can be to help them divide. Instead of your child really needing to know exactly how they would divide this, it just kind of takes it baby steps. And sometimes it takes students longer and more steps than others. But if they use this chart, it should look like this. So this is where they would have seen 1,000. Will help them subtract 4,000 with 276 left. Then they moved, I kind of taught them to cross these off. Next, I know 50 will help me divide out 200. Then 10 would help me divide out 40. And 9 isn't on our friendly numbers, but we also talked about, do you know something times 4 will give you that 36, and therefore all of your remaining numbers are gone, okay? You're at 0. So they were able to help me with this, that 9 times 4 is 36, and then they would get to a remainder of 0, okay? They could have done 5 and got 5 times 4 is 20 and had 16 left, and done, then continued from there. Every child might do this differently, and that's the beauty of it, that it's something that they can understand and they can tailor to their own needs. So same thing with area model. Whereas some children can do it in 4 boxes, some kids are super quick to notice they could have done 60 here instead of 50 and 10. So they're able to move a little bit quicker if they can, or they can take it slow using their T-chart if necessary. So it's just a really good way to teach them to divide, get them started on the foundations of long division, and they're doing a great job. I'm super proud of them. You may start seeing this on homework as early as next week, just because we have been doing this for about 2 weeks and they're ready to practice at home. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I am always available to answer them, or I'll even work one out on paper and send you a picture. Please don't hesitate to ask. I want everybody to be successful, and even parents to understand how their child is learning. It's so important for all of us to be involved in these kids' education. Another thing real quick, if you have a minute, I taught these strategies to them using a story and asked them to tell you the story, okay? It's kind of happened around Halloween time, and despite whether your family celebrates Halloween or not, we talked about how you're starting with a whole amount of something and you're dividing it. You're giving it to a certain number of groups until it's gone. So I taught them a trick-or-treating story and said, 4 students came to my house and I have 4,276 pieces of candy. I'm gonna give you all my candy until it's gone. So I keep reaching into my bucket and giving you certain amounts, giving each of you an amount. And did I give everything away? No, so I'm gonna do it again. Let me reach in my bucket again and give you each 50 pieces. That would be 200 pieces gone. Not gone yet. So I continued, we continue passing out or dividing out this amount, and my story was candy. And finally, after I gave each of you or each of the kids 1,069 pieces, it's gone, okay? So they loved it. We used other objects and other things as well to help them understand what they're doing. Sometimes when they just see a bunch of numbers, and maybe you too right now, it's confusing. So if you put it to a realistic problem, a real life situation, it just makes it so much more real and able to be understood. So talk about when you divide in real life. It's just so important for students to understand how math happens every day around us. So I thank you for watching, and I'm sorry if this video was a little bit longer or confusing. Please don't hesitate to message me if you need anything. Thank you so much, and have a great week.